Hey guys, big welcome to our Minnesota Twins franchise here on the Moldy Cheese Baseball Network. We have games 113 through 115 of year number 4 coming up here. We're on the road in Seattle as we face the Seattle Mariners, who come in here at 52 and 61. I believe they're in 4th place or maybe last place in the AL West. First, I haven't used this graphic in quite a while, but I'm going to use it here. Give you guys an idea of what our active roster looks like right now, starting with our rotation in the blue from left to right. The rotation: Kyle Gibson, Chad Bettis, Felix Jorge, Jose Barrios, and Kevin Hickman. In long relief, we have Trevor May. Middle relief, we have lefty Stan Good and another lefty Chasen Shreve. JT Shargwall and Jenmar Gomez are the right-handed relievers. In setup, you've got Jimmy Dyer and Shane Ashley. And the closer is Kevin Segrist. Let's take a quick look at the position players. Starting in the outfield, you got Rosario, Buxton, and Tapia, with backups Delino Shields Jr. and Mark Kirby. In the infield, Miguel Sano, Robert Jones at short, Jace Peterson at second, Herbert De La Rosa, and Justin Bohr at first base. And behind the plate, Francisco Cervelli and John Ryan Murphy. So that gives you an idea of what our active roster looks like right now. We have made several trades that have sent away everyday major league players for prospects. Will Myers, Alex Wood, Alex Meyer, and Eduardo Nunez, to be exact, have all been traded away, and they've all been replaced basically by minor league players. So that is why we are struggling record-wise here in this franchise as we are rebuilding this Minnesota Twins club. Game number 113, Chad Bettis facing Ryan Lawrence of the Mariners. We are on the road at Safeco Field, or T-Mobile Park, whatever they call it nowadays. Chad Bettis will get the start. 7th start of the season. He's 0-7 on the year with a 5.06 ERA in 89 innings. Ryan Lawrence will go for the M's. He's making start number 13, a 5.97 ERA. You've got to believe we could get some offense off of a guy with an ERA like that. Let's get some highlights started here in inning number 1. Byron Buxton at the plate, batting .214 with 5 home runs. Nobody on, nobody out, and Buxton swings through a changeup. Circle change gets him to swing and miss. Next batter is Herbert De La Rosa. Here in the top of the first inning, delivery from Lawrence, and that is swung on and missed in the dirt. Throw to first will finish off the strikeout, and Miguel Sano will come to the plate now with 30 home runs, leading Minnesota. The delivery on a 1-2 count from Lawrence, swung on and missed, and Ryan Lawrence strikes out the side to start the game. In the top of the first inning, middle of 1, no score. We move to the bottom of the first inning. Chad Bettis with a runner on first and nobody out, facing Ketel Marte, runner going, and he is thrown out by, I think it was John Ryan Murphy. Behind the plate, Carlos Gomez was running. Nelson Cruz up later in the inning. 75 RBIs with 24 home runs. Runners on the corners, and Nelson Cruz chops it towards third. Here's the throw to second. Relay in time to get out of the inning without giving up any runs. End of the first, no score. We move to the 4th. Neil Walker with the bases loaded and 1 out. Twins looking for another double play ball to get him out of the inning. Walker chops it towards second. Peterson to Robert Jones. Robert Jones to first, and the Twins get out of another inning. The Mariners strand the bases loaded at the end of 4. Still no score. We go to the 6th. Eddie Rosario, pair of strikeouts on the day. .244 hitter with 12 home runs. He's got the bases loaded with 2 outs, and he's going to strike out swinging. So the Twins strand the bases loaded as well. Middle of 6, we still have no score here at T-Mobile Park. Nelson Cruz will step to the plate for the Mariners. Obviously in real life, Nelson Cruz is a Twin now. He strikes out looking in the end of the 6th inning. We are still scoreless here in Seattle. We go to extra innings. 10th inning, Wade Miley on for the Mariners. This would be the top of the 10th, facing Delino Shields Jr., who's 0 for 3 on the day. Nobody on with nobody out. Delino Shields Jr. is going to drop down a bunt to the right side, and he's going to beat it out for an infield hit. John Ryan Murphy up next. And John Ryan Murphy pops up a bunt, but it's going to get the job done. It'll move Delino DeShields on to second, and Murphy is thrown out at first. Next batter is Robert Jones with 2 outs. And Robert Jones strikes out looking on a pitch inside that looked like it was off the plate to me. But Wade Miley gets the call, and we head to the bottom of the 10th. Jenmar Gomez will take the hill for the Twins, facing Neil Walker. Neil Walker, a .278 hitter with 14 home runs and 42 RBIs. Nobody on with 1 out and a 1-2 count. Here's the delivery, and Neil Walker with a line drive to right field. That one's headed back to the wall, and it's gone. Neil Walker walks it off in the bottom of the 10th inning for Seattle. And our Twins lose once again. Heartbreaking loss. We had plenty of chances throughout the game to get on the scoreboard. We can't do it. Twins fall 1-0 in extras to the Mariners. We still lead the season series with Seattle 3-2. Ryan Lawrence went 8 innings, giving up 5 hits, had 11 strikeouts and 1 walk while giving up no earned runs. Miguel Sano 2 for 4 with a double for us. Herbert De La Rosa went 2 for 4. For the M's, Ketel Marte 2 for 4. Neil Walker 1 for 4 with a home run that walked off the game and a win for the Mariners. Let's go to the second game of this 3-game series. Game number 114 pits Kyle Gibson against Nate Carnes. And Kyle Gibson making start number 23 on the year. He's 6-6 with 4.05 ERA. 126 2/3 innings. He's been a workhorse. 1.41 whip. 36 walks, 98 strikeouts. Nate Carnes making start number 14 for the M's. 4-4, 4.32 ERA, 1.32 whip. So far here in 2019, we go to the 3rd inning. We're in year number 4 of this Marathon Minnesota Twins franchise. We carry it over from year to year with year-to-year saves. This one's driven to left. That one is back of the wall, and it's gone. A 2-run home run. And the Mariners jump out first. And the home run by Carlos Gomez. The Mariners center fielder, Nelson Cruz now. Still the 3rd inning. Cruz with a runner on first and 1 out. He's going to drive this one deep to left. That one is headed towards the foul pole, and it sneaks inside. It's a 2-run home run for Nelson Cruz. And just like that, the Mariners are out to a 4-0 lead in the bottom of the 3rd inning off of Kyle Gibson. Nelson Cruz, a 2-run blast. First home run of the series. End of the 3rd inning. Mariners lead it 4-0. We go to the 5th. This is Mark Kirby. We got him in a trade with the Rangers that sent Will Myers to Texas. Runner on first with 2 outs. Kirby looks at the pitch. Runner going, and he is thrown out at second. That was Robert Jones, I believe, trying to steal the bag. And he is thrown out to end the inning. Middle of the 5th. Still 4-0. Seattle. Nelson Cruz 1 for 2 with a home run already on the day. 0-2 delivery with 2 outs. And this one trying to get it in on his wrists, and Kyle Gibson does not get it far enough inside. This one doinks off the foul pole. And Nelson Cruz, almost an identical home run as the one he hit earlier in the game, puts the Mariners out 5-0. In the 5th inning, Kyle Gibson having a rough start for us. One of our veterans that we look to do a little bit better than this. We did sign him to a contract extension, so we'd like to see him do better because we will have him on the roster next year. This one's driven to the left field corner. That one's going to get down. Runner heading to the plate is safe, and the runner going to second, Eddie Rosario, with an RBI double. Gets the Twins on the board for the first time in this series. It's 5-1. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning now. This is Carlos Gomez, and he's going to split the gap in left center field. Runners on the corners on the run. 1 run comes in to score. A second one is rounding third, heading to the plate, and there will be no throw. It's a 2 RBI double for Carlos Gomez, and the Mariners go on to win 7-1 and even up the season series at 3 games apiece. Nelson Cruz went 3 for 4 with a pair of home runs and 3 RBIs for the Mariners. Carlos Gomez went 3 for 5 with a home run, a double, and he drove in 4 runs So the entire offense for the Mariners was Nelson Cruz and Carlos Gomez in this game. For us, Eddie Rosario 1 for 4 with a double and an RBI. And really, that was the only player of note. Mark Kirby went 1 for 3 with a double. And we head to the final game of this 3-game series. It's game number 115 on the season. Jose Barrios will face King Felix. King's court is in session. Barrios making start, number 24 for the Twins. He's 8-6, a 3.75 ERA. He's having a really good year, and he is starting to creep towards that A potential that he has. Felix Hernandez on the other side, on the downhill slope of his career. Felix making start, number 24. He's 6-10, a 3.43 ERA, though, is still quite good for King Felix. And we get the action started here in the first inning, top of the first. Batter is Jace Peterson. First batter of the game, third pitch of the game. In the top of the first inning, and Jace Peterson goes yard. Home run to right field puts the Twins out in front. That's our first lead in this series. 1-0 Minnesota. Jace Peterson, I think that's home run number 17 or something like that for him. I can't remember. We'll have to check in on that later maybe. Robert Jones, 217, 1 home run, 5 RBIs. With nobody on and 2 outs in the second inning. And he's going to send this one deep to right field. That one's heading back. Nelson Cruz at the wall, and he makes the catch. Nelson Cruz crashing into the wall. He doesn't play the outfield often, mostly a designated hitter, but he makes a great play there. And we go to the fourth inning, I believe. Justin Bohr, top of the fourth with a runner on first. Justin Bohr drives this one to right field, kind of a golf shot to right. Cruz can't get to that one, and it is over his head and out of the park. And Justin Bohr puts the Twins up 3-0, looking to salvage the final game of this 3-game series. Looking good so far, 3-0 Minnesota in the middle of the fourth. Justin Bohr has added some much-needed power to the middle of this lineup since he's been called up for good. Domingo McConnell now, the catcher for the Mariners. He's going to ground it to the right side with 1 out, looking for a double play to get us out of the inning. And Robert Jones airmails it into the camera well, and 2 runs come in to score on the throwing error. It's 3-2 Minnesota as we go to the 6th inning. The Mariners turn the ball over to Wade Miley. Spent half the season as a starter, now coming out of the bullpen for the M's. Facing Herbert De La Rosa with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and he gets Herbert De La Rosa to swing and miss at the slider in on his hands. Middle of the 6th inning, Twins holding on to a precarious 3-2 lead. We go to the 8th. Shane Ashley, our left-handed setup guy, coming in with a 3.09 ERA to face Robbie Cano, who's batting .267 with no home runs and no RBIs, barely activated off the injured list, and he grounds it up the third base line, and that's going to get Robinson Cano his first RBI of the season here in game number 115, I believe, or something like that, 115. Domingo McConnell now. We are all tied up at 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Shane Ashley trying to get out of this with the tie game intact, and McConnell's going to line it down the third baseline. It is played nicely by Eddie Rosario. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's not in time. The Mariners take the lead 4-3. Domingo McConnell with the RBI, and the Twins have blown another save. JT Chargois in now. Try to mop things up and get us to the 9th inning. It's 5-3 Mariners. And this one is splitting the gap in right center field. And Tapia can't get to it, and it bounces over the wall. A ground rule double for Charlie Culberson. And the Mariners go on to win by a score of 6-3. We blow the lead late. Give up 4 runs in the 8th inning. The Mariners come from behind to beat us. And they also win the season series 4-3 with this 3-game sweep. Here in Seattle, Wade Miley pitched 2 2/3 innings. Gives up 2 hits. 5 strikeouts, and no runs. Domingo McConnell, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Robbie Cano, coming back from the IL, 3 for 4 with an RBI. And Justin Bohr is put on the injured list with a fractured wrist that he suffered in the final game of this series, and he is going to be shelved for the entire rest of the season. So that extra pop in the lineup is now on the IL, and it's just in time for Mario Calero to come off the IL, so He'll be back on the active roster for the next series against the Indians. Playoff picture, Red Sox, Tigers, and Rangers, your division leaders. For the wild card, the Angels and the White Sox, with the Blue Jays 2 games behind the White Sox, the Indians 4 back, and the Royals 6.5 back for that final wild card spot. Let's look at the National League playoff picture now. Washington, the Cubs, and the Giants are your division leaders. The Giants have the best record in baseball still. The wild card is the Dodgers. They are 4.5 games ahead of the Diamondbacks, who hold down the final wild card spot. The Marlins are 1 game behind the D-backs. The Pirates are 3 back. The Mets are 3 back. The Cards 4.5, and the Phillies 5 back. A few more teams in the race in the National League. So that's a look at where we stand here on Minnesota Twins Franchise, episode number 205, here on the Moldy Cheese Baseball Network.